Yeah, could have been nice, but you can't have it all. What up, people? Welcome back to the Nerd Crate. It's Sunday again. You have at least kind of a new review. In today's video I want to compare Storm Collectibles versus SH Figuarts. Both good figures, both very good figures, and they just give you different things, you know? I was loaned this guy by my man Andy, in case you missed that review, up there. Also, if you like this view, that's the place for the charger. Now, he's not finished, but that's where it's gonna go. I think this will be a little bit of my overall love thing. I still need to figure out how to get a transformer in there, but yeah, that's about him. That as a first. As a second, I wanted to have a little bit of a joking intro. You know, when you played Street Fighter back in the day, you were like Hadouken, 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 Hadouken all the time, going left and right and blocking each other out. Yeah, I wanted to find a little video of that, and I wanted to go, hey guys, in today's, yes, Hadouken, let me just, I know, could you please? And all the while Ryu would chime in on me and block out my talking, but I wasn't satisfied with any of those videos, so today, no little joke. And second, I brought Ferocious real quick because I wanted to show you a little bit of a, let's call it fan configuration I did for myself for this part in here. Let me move in closer. So I hope everything zooms good, because I wanted to show you that this is of course the original configuration. In case you missed that review, like you have this hollow bit here. And what I came up with was actually fairly simple. You just take this down, you unplug this here, you lay this off to the side, you rotate all of this 180, lie this down, rotate this 180, get the head a bit forward, and then bring this down and have it, you see, pull this back, lay this flat, and then put the head up here. It's a little bit lifted in the back here, you see, but otherwise this is closed off nicely and is actually safe. And you can, you know, it just looks way better, and this joint is still free. I think this looks better. So much for some house cleaning, and now to get on into the actual topic. Ryu versus Ryu. SH Figuarts versus Storm Collectibles. I didn't brought in anything here, and I also don't have the boxes in the back. We're gonna check all of that stuff out in the back because both come with a lot of accessories, and we got some stuff to talk to, or talk through actually. And this is also not going to get a rating, and I'm also not going to do a cat score. This is solely a thing where I want to show you these two options, to show you, okay, look, you got these options, do with that what you will. I'm just gonna bring you some hard facts and just compare the two in what is my opinion. Maybe the one is doing better or the other, what I find more enjoyable on the one and less on the other. So let's just head to the back. Yeah, let's just head to the back. So I would say it is, as a first, made abundantly clear who features the most accessories. Just as a quick, you have 3 additional heads on Storm Collectibles Ryu, 6 additional hands, aka 3 pairs of additional hands, posing, actual Hadouken and a little more strained Hadouken, and bandanas for all of the heads. So even you can just plug them in and out, or if you just lose one, there you go. Big Hadouken that looks very comparable to this. I think this one might have the edge slightly over this, but my opinion. And a stand also for the Hadouken. And for SH Figuarts Ryu, two heads with the hair needed to be exchanged, same as the bandana, so nothing additional. And only two hands, actual Hadouken hands, and one Hadouken and that stand. And what we see over here is pretty much that when we take the thing at the forefront, we see that this Hadouken actually plugs in here and then in here, and that's a fixed height. There's that. While on the Storm Collectibles, of course, we got all these pieces flying around, but what that gives us is different heights. We have here, we have a good 3mm difference, so we can plug this in and have another one of those, and then we get the height of this kind of. This also plugs in the same manner, just a peg in here, and then you have this. But you adjust if you want to have, I don't know, if there would be something like a, I don't know, a fast fired Hadouken from the hip, you know, it could have been higher and sit like this. Or if you want a more traditional one, you would take this higher plate and this other guy, and then you would kind of have the same height, this is a little loose, as this one. So you got way more options on the Hadouken with this. Like I said in my review, Storm Collectibles that is, it's weird that they got him this Hadouken, as the more detailed one comes with Ken. But if you got Ken, this is no problem. But that Hadouken is the most beautiful you've ever seen. If you missed that review, that's up there. I'm not going to show you here, this is all about Ryu. So that's pretty much what the stands can do. So there's already an edge over SH Figuarts. But let's take a look on the Hadouken real quick. Zoom. Let's focus on that. We have this in here. We have both translucent, but this one is rubber with a more rigid rubber in the back here. And this is all plastic. This is all plastic. Also very well looking, don't get me wrong. And I think this is, like I said, even better. I think this could be having a slight edge over this one, because the clear one in the back here looks beautiful. I think the flames come through nice, and that the lighter, more heat up tip here, that comes through very nice. Well, this is more translucent throughout, with this super clear and this very, very blue. On camera, this is even more, I don't know, kind of an aquamarine kind of blue than what I see one-on-one in real life. So when I see this, especially on camera, this one looks better. So hand-wise, the SH Figuarts, like you see in my review, come with only these two, and they're sculpted okay, just way more simple. Way more simple. Just for a quick comparison, here you got the pretty much exact same hand on Storm Collectibles, and we see wrinkles in here. We see the fingernails are way more pronounced. We see wrinkles on top of the fingers here. There's some dry brushing on the actual glove, on the, let's call it, fisticuff section here, and this is all very plain, you know, this is all very plain. We have this bulbous piece on the top here. We have no wrinkles in here, just only slightly distinguishable fingernails on here. So the hands, only on this example, the hands have an edge over the SH Figuarts. So now it's actually currently it's kind of a bit of a draw, only a bit, like only sculpting wise, because these, there's Storm Collectibles better, and on the Hadouken, the SH Figuarts, it's better. If you count in the stands in, then Storm Collectibles takes the lead. Operating the hands was also a favorite on mine on Storm Collectibles, because on this, you pull these off. These are soft rubber, and this is a hard peg. It's only on tension, but it works very nice. You need to work them at first, because they are very tight at the start. I think yeah, these are the usual holes. They are very tight, and you need to kind of cram them over. But once you've did, those fit very well. This problem you don't have on the SH Figuarts. Well, on the SH Figuarts, I don't know about the longevity of the actual plastic, but of course, since we're here, I'm going to show you this too. So this has a very it's an excellent tolerance. I can't put it anywhere else. Like, it's hard plastic on hard plastic. The holes are pre-bored, let's call it like this, and they just clip in very nice. If you take the other hand and put it in, it's a little bit tighter. You still need to do it, but it's not as much of a chore as on the Storm Collectibles. So the thing is, it's rough. I don't think I can give or take a point on any of those guys, because I think the tolerancing on this makes it on par with this. I just enjoy this over this. Nevertheless, both hand systems work great. Sorry for the difference in sound. I actually had forgotten to plug my mic in, and you know what? This part of the comparison worked so well, I refused to record this anew. And you understand me well because I was close to the mic, so what? Head-wise, Storm Collectibles takes a clear lead. We have Storm Collectibles has a Screaming Sculpt, a Grinning Sculpt, and a Beat Up Sculpt, which is cool in case you want to have a gallery of full beat up guys. And on SH Figuarts, we only have a Shouting Hadouken Sculpt and more of a grinning I'm gonna blast you with a Hadouken Sculpt. So again, let's just compare them directly, and we see both are done as anime styled / comic. It works on this guy, on the SHF, it works for this sculpt very well, but it also works for this guy, and especially when we rotate it to the right, we see that it's the actual profile of Ryu from the game. So this works. The problem I have most with the SHF is actually that this guy doesn't look as much as the Ryu from SHF, SHF, all those SF is confusing me. This Ryu doesn't look as much from the SF5 than this guy from the USF2. That's my problem with it, you know? I think Storm Collectibles nailed the sculpt fitting to the game more than SHF. But that's again my opinion. Nevertheless, we have great sculpt work on both, and both feature also the kind of same amount, with this even being a little bit simpler. The teeth are a little bit less, on this a little bit more. These eyes have actually a little bit more of a gleam, while these are actually varnished, meaning depending on the light there is a gleam in there. Both feature the eyebrows over the bandana. This has the hair on top because those are full-blown exchangeable heads. This is where you need to plug in the hair. And the bandana work the exact same on both. You just plug them in on the back. So there's, yeah. The only thing I can tell you is that this is a more rigid plastic. So this can actually break, while those are very soft rubber. So yeah, I choose those over the SHF. So height-wise, I think you see what's going on. Both lines do not match. That's all I can tell you. And even if you bring in, I got the Baraka lying around here. Bring in Baraka, it doesn't fit with SHF. It roughly fits better with Street Fighter, but they're still smaller. And I don't know if Baraka is supposed to be the same height as Ryu, but just so you see, that's how those fare up. Otherwise, on posing, we're gonna try to get the exact same poses out of both guys now to let you see what both can do. We're not gonna take all the heads, all the hands for this. I wanna keep this as plain and straight down the line as possible. If you want to see the exchange and how it all works, I again direct you to the single reviews on those guys. Otherwise, let's just do the most important. Let's just try and get real quick. I'm not gonna pose them all, but just as for a start. So this is how they both look in the Hadouken pose, and you see this one strains the knee much better than this. Also articulation, I'm not gonna pull through on full articulation on both guys. Like I said again, please check the single reviews, but just so you see, both are possible. This is harder though. Let me show you real quick why. The butterfly joint works quite well. It covers down nicely due to the gi being all soft rubber. This is how this guy operates. We have rigid plastic, rigid plastic, rigid plastic, soft rubber gi, soft rubber covering on the upper body, rigid plastic arms, soft rubber hands, a more rigid rubber head. Essentially the same material as this. Maybe there's a core in there. I don't know. I could see that due to the attachment of the ball pack. But this is how this guy operates, and due to that, because this is pretty thick rubber, the underlying joints are blocked out a little bit, meaning the Hadouken is a bit more work to be done. It works better over time. This is exactly what I said in my review. The joints loosen up, the tolerances become wider, and it's actually possible to have him in a better pose. What's not possible is to have him strain the knee better, because this joint right here below is limited. But this is pretty much the best Hadouken you can get out, and if you look at it on the screen, it looks fairly well. The SH Figuarts works similar-ish. We have a soft, it feels harder to the touch, but it's soft. So a soft plastic gi with soft plastic gi shoulder covers here, with a comparable butterfly joint as on the Storm Collectibles with a cover down piece here. Storm Collectibles has this in here too, as you see. So you have a little bit more space with how this gi is actually done over this, which works fairly nice, I gotta say. This, you see, you can cross these arms over, you can have the elbows work a little bit better on this guy, and you have the hands actually crossed over with the ball packs, giving you the tolerance to cross the arms nicely with the head too. And the way this knee operates gives you this actual strained possibility. But overall, this guy operates way different than this. We have, although not way different, we have, like I said, rigid all below. This is rigid all below. We have soft on the upper, we have soft on the upper. The difference is that the upper body in here is actually rigid, and the head and everything too. So they are fairly comparable in terms of build. Just joint wise, SHF does a few things different. And to actually balance this guy out in this pose is a little bit harder due to the feet being smaller. But overall, build-wise, they are comparable, but there are enough differences to make it possible to have Ryu from SHF in a Hadouken pose. Next up for a Shoryuken, I'm just gonna show you like this because I don't have both Storm Collectible stands here, and I honestly don't want to pull Ermac every time I want to show two figures. I think I need to get a third Storm Collectible stand. Still, what we see here is also abundantly clear. The way the legs work on the SHF makes it way more possible to actually yank the leg up high, while the Storm Collectibles is a little bit more limited. You can get this up here, but the double jointed knee is actually limited. So you need to have him only kind of simulate a bent knee for the Shoryuken, let's call it like that. While the SH Figuarts has a lot of space here to actually move it like this, and has the knee being able to do over 90 degrees, which makes it for a very dynamic Shoryuken. On the Tatsumaki, I feel both kind of lose some points. Like, both have a harder time to get the legs up as high, but I feel like the Storm Collectibles does the more classic pose. What the Storm Collectibles does less than the SHF is again crossing over the arms. Like when I need to rotate the arm and bring it in, this is where the ball joint likes to pop out. And you saw what happened, the head also just fell down. So the tolerances are good on Storm Collectibles, but for actual posing, this is a little bit worse than on the SHF. So you see, this pose is better. You have a gap in here, like this. This you don't have here, but on this, like when this fell apart and this fell apart, you saw the inside frame, and the inside frame is kind of off also. So there's some stuff to do on Storm Collectibles. Like what I tell you the same thing I told you on Ferocious, and I think I also told you on this guy. You need to work the tolerances and do the best you can. Stretch them, do what you can to make the pose as you see fit. So as you see, both can roughly do the same. It just pretty much comes down to taste. And I know this comparison doesn't look as good for this guy because the head came off, because the arm came off. But this is a more heavy figure. You have more in the hand, and I like the styling of what Storm Collectibles does more than what SHF does. I don't like the head sculpt. I don't like the proportions. It's just too slim. It's just like a boy, essentially, to me. But the posability on this is better than on Storm Collectibles. It all depends what you want to do with Storm Collectibles or with the figure. May it be Storm Collectibles or SH Figuarts. But otherwise, for a comparison, directly, one-on-one, that is all I can tell you. So that was that. And I think you can't really say which one is actually better. It depends a little bit on the taste. Andy bought this Ryu because this look was him a little bit too bulky, but he may step down from this opinion once he sees this in person, which will happen on Sentinel Bay Reviews little summer fest that's coming up soon. And I said I want to bring this guy with him so he can check it out. I think everything else was pretty much set here. I think both look tremendous, except for this plain head sculpt. You know, this is just way more Ryu. But overall, I think both are doing a very good job, especially the companies. The companies both know what they're doing. You have a lot of possibility of both. And the good part also is that even this is hard plastic on hard plastic, what I told you back there. The tolerances are that good that I don't see any of this breaking. What I actually do on Thanos, because that's why I didn't exchange the hands back in the day. But overall, like I said, both have a very nice way of doing business. There's just one small thing where Storm Collectibles could step up a bit more, and that is actually bring more female characters. May it be Street Fighter or especially Mortal Kombat. You know, so yeah, that was just a little talk for today, just a little presentation of what these guys can do, actually side by side, an actual comparison live. And like when I see these guys look-wise, it's clear to me, but he can do the Hadouken very much better. So I don't know, a little bit more flexibility on the shoulders here, on the butterfly, and this guy would actually be perfect. But it's cool that I was able to check both guys out in parallel. I thank Angie again for loaning this to me, and I thank you guys for tuning in. So hope you had a nice weekend. See you guys soon. Be good, be well. In case you want to check out more of our stuff, the Collector's Bay, then me, Andy, and also now Mark, head below. There's a link tree that gives you everything. Voice of Kaon, Teespring, group, our sites, everything. All right? So like I said, see you next time. Be good, be well. Bye-bye.